The 90-day notice survival guide, what you absolutely must do before you turn in your 90-day notice, before you tell anyone you're leaving. You won't hear this anywhere else, and you absolutely must know this. If you're even thinking about leaving your job, your first move has to be preparation, not a conversation. The moment you signal you might be leaving, you might be looking for a job, someone just reached out for possibly interviewing you. The moment your chair finds out, everything can change immediately, irrevocably, in a really bad way. So you need to be prepared. And that's what you're going to get in this episode. Let me give you an example. At one of my academic jobs, I told my chair I was exploring other options. I wanted her to hear it from me. It was coming from such a good, transparent, ethical place, full of integrity. I wanted her to know from me. I didn't want to hear from the rumor mill. I didn't want her to be surprised or caught off guard. I thought this is such a move that commands a lot of respect, right? I laugh because that's not what happened. Shortly after that conversation, a whole new policy appeared. She had made that the policy to leave would require 120 days notice, but she didn't tell us. It was not brought up at a faculty meeting. There wasn't an email. She changed the policy, buried it in our annual reviews, and forced us all to sign it. All of this happened within a few days of me telling her. When I later resigned, she's like, "Oh, no, no, you're not leaving. I have you for 120 days. You owe me 120 days. I don't care if that means you're living apart from your family. That's what you signed. I have the proof." And that was just the beginning of it. PTO was frozen, CME was frozen. Oh, yeah, by the way, everything you've purchased in the last 8 years, it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to me. That's what she told me. Laptops, books, atlases. And the experience taught me something I want every woman physician to know. First of all, I mean, we really should be reading what we're signing, okay? And also beyond that, because I mean, I don't know if I'll ever really do that, but the point is, the moment your chair finds out you're leaving, you need to be prepared for the potential fallout. It could go amazing, but you need to be prepared because the people I coach, it does not go amazing. If you're in a bad job and you give notice, it tends to go way worse. So in this podcast series, this one and the next, and maybe the next, I'm going to give you everything you need to know. But here's what I learned in that experience: prioritize your family, career, and money over your chair's feelings, emotions, and convenience. I was trying to tell her because I wanted her to respect me. I wanted her to feel looked after. I wasn't thinking of myself first. I wasn't thinking of my family first. Will my chair be annoyed and upset when she hears I'm leaving? Either way, she will be. Protect yourself first. Remember, your chair is being paid a ton of money to deal with her feelings. She probably has Most chairs have a leadership coach that costs the hospital somewhere around $100,000 a year. She is very well resourced to deal with her feelings. She is literally paid to rearrange the schedule. It's part of her job. Your job, my job, our job is to protect our family, career, and money. That's what you're going to get in this episode. I want you to also consider every single part of your job can be negotiated, including your leave. So even though my chair was like, I got you, you signed this sneaky document, even though she was super petty about it, what I did is I still negotiated it to have it my way. So I went in with it thinking nothing is law here. She can't sue me for asking for a negotiating. And I went to her and I said, listen, I am going to complete the terms. I'm going to leave on very good terms. I'm going to take care of you and everyone here. I am going to make sure this is a very easy transition. I have worked like a dog for you for 8 years. What I'm asking is for to leave in 90 days. I want to spend Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's with my family. I'm going to be living apart with my family because they're leaving right now. And she said yes. So I want you to know it's all negotiable. Okay, let's get into it. So, what do you have to know before you turn in your 90 days? You have to know this: you are going to be wildly successful no matter what. Most of the people I coach, they're afraid to turn in their 90-day notice because their thought is, oh my God, I'm never going to get a better job. Oh my God, I'm never going to get another job again. None of that is true. If this terrible job is eating at your soul and destroying your marriage and who you think you are, this job is keeping you from your most wildly successful self. This job is in the way of your success. You are going to be wildly successful no matter what. And here's what I need you to hear: because your success is not determined by your institution or your chair. even if your chair is wildly famous, and especially if your chair is not, like you are going to be wildly successful no matter what. It's just so many clients I coach where they're so nervous about their chair's opinion of them. And when we kind of like investigate who's your chair, they're like, well, nobody knows my chair. My chair is not super involved or connected. Everyone hates her. Okay, we don't have to worry about her then. Your success is not tied to your chair's opinion of you. It is not. It is not tied to if your chair is happy with how you leave or mad about how you left. None of it. Your career success is determined by you, your work, your character, your ethics, what you've accomplished on your CV, or how your patients think about you, or how you're right, how you get along, what you've built, what you will build. It's all determined by you, not your chair, not this job. Medicine has sold us a pack of lies. I have to address this right now. This will help you as you turn your notice. A pack of lies about leaving being the worst thing we could ever do. You need a question who's telling you this. These lies are coming from a broken system who wants you to stay underpaid and overworked as long as possible. It's not the truth. So here's what medicine will tell you. Leaving is career suicide. A gap in experience is going to ruin your career. If you leave and your chair is mad at you, you'll never get a job again. If you leave academics, you'll never be able to come back. All of that is lies. All of that, I have a million examples of how that's not true. Think about who's telling you that. It is a bad boss and a bad job who wants you to stay stuck. It is not someone who's trying to protect you or take care of you. It is not someone with your best interests in mind. I have your best interest in mind, and I'm going to tell you what's true. Brace yourself. Are you ready? I have so many examples in my I don't know 26 years of being in medicine of seeing people who took time off, go back to academics or go back to private practice. Why? Because they're good people, and good people will always find a good job. Because medicine is broke ass broke. They're always looking. Have you ever worked in a department that's overstaffed? Never. I have never seen a department that's overstaffed. Medicine is broke ass broke. They're always looking for good people. I promise you, you will find a job if you take time off. Will you have to explain what happened? Sure. And here's how I teach my clients to explain it. Put on their CV, sabbatical. Sabbatical, folks, is not a permission your organization gives you. It's you taking control of your career. You are allowed to take time off, call it a sabbatical, heal, reset, regroup, rego. No one will question. On your interview, you can explain what your sabbatical was about. People will understand. Your sabbatical, how I teach my clients is we're going to use this to help you get your next job. So, for example, I have a surgeon who wants, who was in between jobs. Her current job was terrible. They wouldn't work with her. They were bullying. They were doing outright illegal things to her. And we all know this happens. She took an emergency sabbatical. She left her job immediately. She delved deep into coaching and therapy. She healed. She got her papers written. She finished her books that she was working on. She got all of her academic accomplishments done while she was in this time period. And she applied for a job. She has labeled this as a sabbatical. And on her interview, she explained what this sabbatical was about. She said, I was in a center that was treating me like an RVU machine. There was no academic time. I am deeply committed to academics. I took this time to get all my papers written, to get my projects done, my chapters done, to come up with ideas to position the rest of my career to be 10 times as productive as the past. Her saying this to an academic center made them be like, oh my gosh, we need to hire you immediately. Her sabbatical was positioned in a way to give her the time she needed to regroup, reset, and come back stronger than ever. Her sabbatical helped her. I do this with my clients all the time. I can do this for you. It's the same for you. Your career isn't over because you have a gap in experience. It's just not. By the way, you can fill the gap by calling it a sabbatical because that's what it is. Okay. Another lie that you've been sold is you're going to need a letter of recommendation from your chair. Nope, not true. I can give you a million examples of this. I'll give you my own. So my chair at my first job, her retention strategies, if she heard a good person was leaving, she would go to the new chair, the new job, and say horrible things about the person. She would send an army of people, not also Go tell the people at Mayo about this. Go say all these terrible things to Mayo so they won't hire this person. So her retention strategies, as soon as she heard you were leaving and she wanted to keep you, she would say horrendous things about you. Is it illegal? Probably. Is it unethically? Absolutely. And that's how she kept people in the job. So, knowing this, I told my new job, the job I was applying to, listen, if you ask for you call my chair, she will send an army of people to tell you I'm a terrible person because she wants to keep me. That's her retention strategy. The new job said, well, we don't want to hear from your chair and we don't need to. We're going to give you an offer without her. Your CV stands for itself. We know you. We had people at our faculty who've been working with you for years. We don't need your chair's opinion. My second job that I went to was like a big fu to this particular chair. It was fantastic. I didn't need a letter of recommendation from the chair. Now, when I applied for the license, like, do you need a letter? Yeah, I got the letter for my new job, or you can get a letter from people you've worked with, your best friends, you went to residency, or at different institutions. If you need a letter, we will get you a letter. You don't want a letter from a chair who's pissed, whose retention strategy is to sink you. You don't want that letter. So it's not a problem if your chair won't give it to you, or if your chair says, if you leave, I'm not giving you a letter. You don't want her letter and you don't need her letter. If you need a letter of recommendation, our strategy in Next Level Freedom, my program, is we find that letter for you. We find someone you trust who will write you an amazing, glowing letter. It's very easy to do. Your current chair's retention strategy is not a problem. And then the other lie I want to address, no one will hire if you leave this way. I had so much advice about how you have to leave. Some of it was out of my control. Like, you have to leave and your chair has to love you. You have to leave and your chair has to be very happy. For many of us, that's true. And for many of us, that's not possible. And it's entirely out of our control. And if we have a very malignant boss who's super petty and passive aggressive, that's not happening. So here's what I want you to know. Medicine is a large profession. Good physicians always find good jobs. Your record, your skills, your reputation, the people who actually know and care about you, that counts, that follows you, and that helps you. Couple of disgruntled people that everyone knows are kind of hateful chairs. No, it's not going to hold you back. Your chair's feelings about your departure have no impact on what's going to happen next. Surround yourself with good people who believe in you. We will help resource you for any support and chair you need. Okay, next, find the real notice requirement. Hospitals attach policy changes to routine documents all the time and counting on you not reading those documents. That's what I did right in the beginning of the story. Also, remember that notice requirements will vary wildly, even at the same institution. So orthopedic surgery could require a year. Pathology could require no time. OB/GYN might require 14 days. It's at the whim of your chair, and your chair can change her mind anytime, and all of it becomes legal. So don't go on what you think it is, what someone told you, the person who left last. Look for the documents in your email. Find out your policy. If nothing is written, some universities have no policies around this, which is so interesting. It's not a problem. It's actually it's just a negotiation. It's just a discussion, a conversation. By the way, hear me. Even if your document says you have to give a year notice in your first child, all of it is negotiable. Don't shut down. So many women outside of my program, they see it's a year and they're like, oh my gosh, why even leave? I'm just going to stay. And they roll over. All of it is negotiable, every single bit of it. As you're finding out the legal documents, know this, please hear me on this. Do not casually ask HR, your chair, your friend, in quotes, or a director, because it will immediately go to your chair. Your chair will know within minutes and everything is out of your hands and changes. It will trigger a series of alarm bells. Be prepared. Find the documents. Next is get financially steady before you signal anything. Once your department suspects you're leaving, they can tighten everything fast. They can freeze your PTO. Once they know you're going, they can't. I've seen all specs. They can freeze your PTO. You don't have any, it's going to the dumpster. They're not even paying you out. They may have a policy they'll pay you out, but if your chair is petty and vindictive and retaliatory, she won't. And she'll say, well, there's a clause that says it's up to my discretion if I'm going to pay you out, and I'm not. They're legal. These organizations are run by a team of very sophisticated lawyers that protect the institution over you. So have your bills paid before you turn in your notice, because your PTO may freeze, your CME may entire CME funds, book funds may entirely go away. At my first job, Ohio State, I don't know why protect them anymore. When someone left, they would, or someone said they left, they would take their funds and just distribute it to their favorite people. Schedule shift, they could give you more call. They could put you on more service. They could have you cover the autopsy service, something you're not even trained or qualified to do. They could deny vacation they've already approved you for. They could deny and confiscate the bonus they've already said that you're getting. You will not be able to control their reaction. They are protected by their own documents and legal team, but you can control your readiness by controlling when you give them the document and how you do it when you turn in your notice. So, for example, if you have a $100,000 bonus coming in a month and you really want the bonus, do not turn in your notice before you get the bonus. Okay. We don't do that. Or if it's another scenario where it's going to be $10,000, you have to wait 9 months. Well, something like that. Like, let's just go. I would say don't wait for that bonus, because you can just roll that bonus into your new job. Negotiate for a signing bonus to cover that and double it. Say, let's have your signing bonus be $100,000. Okay, we don't really care about waiting 9 months for this $10,000. Staying at a terrible job for $10,000 is not worth it in any scenario, because you can make it up in your next job. The damage of staying 9 months for $10,000, what you're telling your inner child, your inner self, is I'm not even worth $10,000. The damage to your marriage, your mental health, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Let the $10,000 go. I say make it up in the next job. So before you give your notice, make sure your bills are covered, your insurance is mapped out. You know you're going to have a coverage in your health insurance. If you need to move over to your partner's insurance, do that. Have savings in place for the next 6 to 12 months is my suggestion. Give you some buffer time. Check out your non-compete clause. In an ideal situation, I would recommend following your agreed terms of leave and following your non-compete, just because carrying the mental load of will I be sued, or now I'm being sued and now I need to hire these lawyers. I mean, all of it is just such a huge burden to you. Could you be sued for breaking your notice period, not giving your full 90 days, not honoring your non-compete? You absolutely can. Will it happen every time? No. It's just like, do you want to take that risk? I know people who have, and there's a lot of coaching on supporting them on this. So if you can stay and it's tolerable and you're supported, do it. If you can't, leave, but just be well prepared. There are risks, and make sure you're very well supported there too. Once you turn in your 90-day notice, things are going to get weird for most people. Chairs are going to do illegal, petty stuff. And just knowing that this might happen will help you be prepared. If you're leaving a malignant job, please do not expect them to be nice on your way out. Like, if they're malignant the whole way, they're going to be malignant on the way out, even worse. Just be prepared. Doesn't mean don't go. It just means, okay, we want to be mentally prepared for what might happen. It's likely friends are going to become more distant. Leaders who were once supportive might ice you out. Colleagues will start acting weird. They're going to start having meetings without you. Just know this so you're prepared, and hear this. You need to build your support system before you turn in your 90 days. And that support system has to be outside of your hospital. If all your friendships are tied into this one terrible job and all those friends start freaking out and not talking to you, you're going to feel very isolated and alone. And that's what happened to me. So make sure you have a support system outside of your hospital, your partner, your family, your friends from residency. Call all of them and say, listen, guys, I'm about to put in my notice. I need your support. I need you to be there for me. I need you to be available for me to vent. Get your therapist in line. Get your coach in line. Have a community of people who will be there for you. Have that ahead of time. I would probably say about calling your friends. Don't call. I actually wouldn't call them until you put your notice in. But your therapist and coach and your coaching community, have that in place well before you turn your notice in. Your friends, some of them might be friends in quotation marks, and let your chair know. That's happened to me. So be prepared. You're going to need all the support you can get. Your 90-day notice, or whatever it is, however it looks, You need people who can support you, who can remind you. Anything that weird that happens is a sign you made the right decision to leave this job. Any institutional pettiness, vindictiveness, retaliation that happens, it's only going to happen for this defined period of time and then it's over. The timer is on, it is on your side. Their pettiness is about them, not you. And if you have a lot of support, it's not going to sting. Okay, next is protect your documents. Once you give notice, once people are knowing you're looking, some institutions will move very fast. I have seen people who gave their notice before they got back to their office. It was locked down, everything confiscated. They didn't have a chance to get their computer, their personal affects, slides and cases and papers were taken forever. Their CV on the computer, all of it taken. Their papers in progress, all of it removed immediately. So have your important documents downloaded to a device you've paid for and put that into your home where they can't get it. If you use your book fund to get a terabyte drive to download everything, the institution owns that. It's not yours. So buy your own. Come on, folks. A terabyte drive is like $100. Buy your own terabyte drive. Download your computer that you need all your documents, your papers, your chapters, your schedules, your RVU, your metrics. Download all of it on your own personal terabyte drive and take it to your home. If there's anything personal in your office that you do not want to lose, take that home before you put in your 90-day notice. I remember once I turned my notice in, people were coming by. Can I have this lamp? Can I have your curtains? Can I have this rug? Can I have these decorations? I bought them with my own money. I felt like I was having my bones picked over by hyenas. It was wild. People lose their mind. So it was a good lesson for me to learn, though, that anything purchased with your institutional funds is your institution, not yours. So that laptop you have at home, if your university bought it, it's not yours, it's theirs, and they can require it back immediately. And they can scrub it and they can look it and they can cause trouble. So before the things escalate, save what's yours to a personal device that you purchase and keep it at your home. Have your CV, your board certifications, your procedure logs, licenses, teaching materials, all those PowerPoints that you teach the med students, all your papers in progress. Your university really could take them and destroy them. So download them so they're yours. Some institutions handle transitions with complete professionalism and others do not. So just be prepared. Next is decide how you want to leave. I got the worst advice from a male colleague all the way. By the way, all the terrible advice I get is always from a male colleague theme who's like, you should leave in a way that they want to hire you back. Keep all these bridges open. You might want to come back someday. Worst advice ever. That's what had me prioritizing my chair's emotions over my family's finances. Hell to the no. If you have a terrible job, leave it like it's on fire for a better one, period. You do not want to come back to a terrible job. Burn that bridge, sink that boat. I never want to go back to Ohio State. No, thank you. Remember, there's no such thing as career suicide. You're completely in control of the narrative. You have the last word of record. You have the podcast that can tell everyone what happened, for example, like what I'm doing here. And you have something more private. When you're talking to your new chair, you can explain yourself in a very dignified, respectful way. People will respect you. They'll understand you. So decide on this before you go. No matter how you leave, you're going to be very proud of yourself for how you leave. Being proud of yourself, by the way, is just a decision. You get to choose it. There's no good reason to choose anything else than being proud of how you leave. You want to be able to do this. Otherwise, you will have PTSD about how you left. You don't need that. My first job, Ohio State, was a total dumpster fire. I left as fast as I could. That was the right call. I'm so proud of me. I'm giving you examples of what this might look like. My second job required no notice. Could have walked out immediately. I didn't. I really valued the chair, the relationships, the institution. I told them, listen, I'm going to finish out the schedule. I don't want you to have to change a schedule for me. Created a great job here. I have no frozens. I'm not on call. I'm getting paid really well. I've got good relationships. The job is fun. I'm not in a rush to leave, right? You can be proud of yourself either way. Whatever you decide is not wrong. Be proud of yourself no matter way. The exit doesn't drift. You decide on how it's going to go. All right. So how do you give notice? If you have a functional relationship with your chair, I would recommend having an in-person conversation. Let them know I wanted to talk to you about some upcoming changes And then in person, it's as simple as this. I wanted you to hear this from me directly. I'm so proud of the work we've done here. I've received an opportunity I just can't turn down. I'm going to be submitting my formal notice. I wanted you to hear it from me first because I respect you and I value our relationship. I wanted to talk to you about my intend day. Last day is blank. I'm fully intend to serve out my notice and help you during the transition. And that's a time where you're going to collaborate and negotiate on that end date. So even if it's 120 days, you can negotiate down to 30, right? If that's what you need. If you would like their letter of recommendation, this is a good time to ask for it when everything is coming together in this really nice sacred space. That's it. There's no explaining, apologizing, but you didn't treat me right. But if you had treated me better, if no, it's just how I said it. Then, when you're done, you write a short email, simple as this: Thank you for meeting with me as discussed. I'm formally resigning my position on the mutually agreed upon date of. I look forward to working together on the smooth transition and next steps. I thank you in advance for potential letters of recommendation. Emails your documentation, establishes a date, it confirms what was said, it protects you if anything gets disputed later. So let's do 15 pre-notice sprints, things you want to keep in mind, fast action plans. Before I do, I want to ask you a favor. Would you please share this podcast, this episode, with all of your friends? They need to hear this. They will hear this nowhere else. And would you please, for the love of sweet baby Jesus, rate and review my podcast wherever you're listening to it. I have 18 reviews. I've been doing it 5 years. It's embarrassing. It will help me know what you like, and it will also promote our podcast to more people like you. All right. Here are the sprints. Line up your coaching support, coach, therapist, trusted partner 3 months ahead as soon as possible, way before you put in your notice. Next, pull the actual contract you sign, not what you remember. If it's been updated, look at that. Next, spend your CME funds every year. Do not save up for CME funds because the moment you say you're leaving, they're going to steal them from you and give them to your enemies or your friends or your frenemies. You spend down your CME every single year. Next, use your PTO every single year. My chair was like, you need to save your PTO. You might need it someday if you're moving between jobs. And then I was moving between jobs. Like, can I use my PTO? She said, no. And I said, can you pay me out? And she said, no. So use your PTO every year. Do not believe your chair who just wants you on the schedule. She's not going to give it to you if she doesn't want to. She won't pay it out if she doesn't want to. Use your PTO every year. Once it's used, you've got it. You own it. She can't take it away from you. If you have unused PTO, use it up before you turn in your notice or ask your chair to pay it out. But remember, you're not entitled to it. It is up to them. You need to be a very good negotiator if you want to keep it. And if it's just not possible to get it back, then then the coaching here is to release it for a better job. Next, map out your non-complete, literally put it on open Google Docs, figure out what this is about. Build the financial runway. Physicians who leave from desperation because they can't pay their bills make really bad decisions and wind up in an even worse job. You need a cushion. Make sure you're safe. So you're choosing and not running and desperately finding the worst job. Next, download your documents, licenses, board certifications, procedure logs. Save them when you're allowed to. ID could immediately cut you off as soon as they see your notice. Next, save your productivity data, RVUs, patient volumes, leadership projects, anything that may help you get your next job. Next, keep your CV up to date. Next, quietly take home whatever personal items you don't want to lose. Anything in the office really is their property. They will tell you that. I've been told that. So take it home before you give your notice. Next, warm up your references before you need them. Next, keep your job search off institutional devices. Anything on the institution, watching Bravo over lunch, checking your personal email, asking people about jobs should not be done on your institution's devices. They literally can be scrolling through your history and they could find out you're leaving before you tell them because they can be monitoring. Nothing on your institutional device is safe. All of it is up for discovery from them. Map your benefits gap. What is your health insurance covering? What is your window? Do you need to buy some marketplace health plans to cover you? Do you need to transition to your partner's insurance? So many women I meet, though, I can't be out without health insurance. You know, you can buy health insurance, right? It's not that expensive. It is not worth staying at a terrible job. Know what intellectual property you own, the curriculum, the protocol, that program you built. Know it and Download it before you have. About staying for your public loans to be paid off. You can ask your new job to pay them off, right? I think staying in a terrible job to pay off loans, I think is a pretty terrible thing to put yourself through. So interesting. I left like a couple of months before my loans would have been entirely paid off. I was like, this job's not worth it. And then we found a loophole. All my loans got paid off. Plus, your new job, you can say, I part of the contingency is you're going to start paying off my loans for me. Write your one sentence departure story and practice it. So one clean sentence, just not a speech, not a and they did this and that. Don't let it be emotional and tearful. Like we want to have a sentence plan so we can tell people without it causing us a lot of trauma. So practice it. And the more you practice it, the calmer you sound, the more it'll help you leave your exit. Lastly, get clear on what comes next. What are you going to do? Is it a sabbatical? Is it another job? Is it a time off? Going to Hawaii for a month? You need to give your brain something to look forward to. Your brain needs safety, so show it safety. What's coming next? All of it can be labeled, by the way, as a gap on your CV. In summary, before you tell someone you're leaving, anybody at your work or anybody in your profession, even your girlfriend at the next institution, protect yourself, your career, your family, and your money first. You really can't even trust people at other institutions, even if you're friends. I just have seen so many stories of it getting back to the chair immediately and then that person's job immediately getting worse. You don't owe anyone anything except for your family, you, and your career. Leaving a bad job for something better isn't career suicide. It's a smart, strategic decision that helps you build a career you love. How you do this matters. Surround yourself with support. Good people always find good jobs. If you're considering giving your 90-day notice, you need to be in next level freedom today. It's my lifetime group coaching program where you get weekly coaching for life, curriculum, private podcast, community, bonus trainings, guest speakers, so much more. It's a one-time investment of $2,500. And most of my clients won't pay this because we will negotiate for your job to pay it, either this job or the next. When you have a 100K raise going to your next job, it will pay for your lifetime coaching. I promise. You can join Next Level Freedom this week by booking a free sales call. And can I please ask you to do a favor? Share this episode with everybody you know, inside or outside of medicine. Rate and review the podcast. Tell me what you like. Help me let this podcast grow. I'll see you on the next podcast, which will be a follow-up to the 90-day survival guide. You will not want to miss it. I'll see you then.